Okay, you guys, today's exciting. Oh my God, I'm going to say something so lame. We have chingona. Did I say it good?
You
I love
did
Spanish,
it.
by the way.
La chingona.
La chingona Eva Longoria. Oh my God. I love Spanish.
See, look at my
Vamos
shoes.
a hacer esta podcast en español.
Venga, vamos.
Solamente.
Ok.
Pero tú
Perfecto.
hablas español?
Sí, yo hablo español.
¿Mucho?
Sí.
Yo
Vivo
veo
en
que-
México.
¿Qué?
Vivo en México ahora.
Vivas en... No ahora.
Ajá, ahora.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Right now you're living in Mexico?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I live between Mexico City and LA.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
For how long has that been?
The past 5 years. I mean, since my son was born, yeah, we spent more time in Mexico City. The whole COVID we were in Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's that like?
The whole COVID. Did I sound old?
The whole COVID.
The whole COVID
Yeah.
thing? Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Mexico City's amazing. One of the most beautiful cities in the world. Such a food destination now. And then you pop over everywhere. Like Oaxaca's pretty fun. Merida's fun. I did Searching for Mexico, this show
Right.
about food. And
Yeah.
so we got to, so I was in Mexico for like shooting for 5 months there. And it was just so great. I love Mexico. But yeah, I didn't grow up speaking Spanish, but now I speak
Right.
Spanish. Yeah.
So you didn't grow up speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
Your parents, but are like Mexican, but didn't
Mexican
speak Spanish
American.
to you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they spoke Spanish to each other, but they didn't teach us Spanish.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you like, do you ask them? Like, were you like, why didn't you talk
Oh,
to me?
I get mad at them all the time.
Yeah.
I know why, because that time still there's a big push for assimilation for kids, and there's a big like by the school system, by society of like don't let them have an accent and
Yeah.
don't let them be other, don't let them speak any other language. And I think hold on, I'm gonna say.
Bless you. That's
Thank
how you
you.
know it's an actor in the house. Like how loud the sneeze is, right?
You know what?
Like,
I'm allergic to perfume.
oh no.
I don't wear perfume, and I put perfume on today. Going, I'm gonna put nope, bad
Stop.
idea. This is why. Do you see my eyes?
Yeah.
I sound stuffy. My eyes are watering. I'm sorry.
You know what's so funny? I went to college and I did like a marketing major. I minored in theater just because I liked it.
Yeah.
And it was like going from the regular classes with like, normal people.
Yeah.
Where I did the marketing and the whatever, intro to mass media. And then you go to the acting classes and that's how they sneeze, That's the difference between someone who's a performer,
I love that. I love
My
that.
husband is so embarrassed when I sneeze on the street. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh my God,
Stop
less
doing that.
attention
Less,
from
please.
people.
I can't. I held. If I do a quiet sneeze, I literally a rib will pop out. I go. I can't. I've got to let it out.
Why would I like make life harder?
Why am I
Okay, so
gonna hold it
Mexico
in?
City, I know you did the show.
Yeah.
All about like food. You just wanted to eat your way through Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah. Stanley Tucci called me because he had Searching for Italy.
Right.
Yeah, and he called me and he's like, "Hey, we want to do a spin-off. What do you think? We want to, we think you're a foodie, you're a cook." And I was like, "You got to do Mexico." And so I'm the one that pitched him on the country, and he was like, "That's a great idea." And then they researched it, and they're like, "Yeah, I mean, it's a jewel of a cuisine. It's one of the only. It is only one of two cuisines protected by UNESCO as a cultural treasure, and that's French cuisine and Mexican. The only two cuisines."
And what do you think about Mexican food here in America?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, I'm Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
And so I love Tex. My husband hates Tex-Mex because he's a pure Mexican.
Yeah.
I'm Mexican American. So I love Tex-Mex. And I also, spending 20 years in California, there's, California Mexican.
Right.
But no, it's the most popular cuisine in the United States.
And was it important for you to marry someone Mexican?
No.
No, that happened by...
That happened by accident.
Really?
Yeah.
It was like a blind date situation.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. My friend set us up, and I was like, I'm not interested in anybody right now, and neither was Pepe. Pepe was like, hey,
Oh,
so
you
we
call him
met.
Pepe?
Yeah, his name's Pepe. Yeah.
I
Well, his
thought it
name's
was
Jose Antonio, but Jose in Mexico, the nickname is Pepe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're learning so much today.
I know, like William and Bill.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
anybody who's named Jose is usually called Pepe.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Pepe and I. Yeah, but we both met and we were like, hey, hi. And that was it. And then 6 months later, we re-met and I was like, who is that? And my friend's like, that's the guy I've been trying to get you to date. And I was like, I've never met this man in my life. And he was like, yes, that's the guy. I was like, I don't remember. So then and that was 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yes. But you know, well, how do we say my first husband? No, my second husband, because I've been married. This is my third husband. I have to clarify.
Yeah.
But when I was married to Tony, he was French. So my second language is French. I learned French, and I was way more fluent in French than Spanish.
That's wild.
And you know, we spent our summers in France, and his whole family's French, so I had to learn it. And so when I learned Spanish, Spanish is my third language, and it was much easier. Like I was like, oh, okay, I got it now.
Wow. I can't believe you call Spanish your third language.
I know. Isn't that crazy? But it's only in the United States that like we teach our children like don't speak another language. It's like, when is monolingualism better than bilingual? Like when is one better than two?
Yeah.
It's weird. We're the only country that promotes monolingualism.
Do you feel like they promote that here though?
Yes.
Really?
Oh my God. If you speak Spanish, we've been told so many times. I remember actually, I think it was in upstate New York. I was somewhere, my husband and I were speaking Spanish, and somebody literally told us, can you stop that? Yeah. And I was like, stop. I'm sorry, stop what? And I didn't understand. And I was like, oh my God. It's crazy.
Oh my God. It's fun though because you can like talk shit about people without them understanding something.
Yeah. Although
Spanish,
a lot
it's
of
hard,
people.
though. Yeah, with Spanish it's hard.
Yeah, a lot of my husband thinks that, so he'll start saying something about somebody right in front of us in Spanish. I'm like, honey, I think they understand what you're saying.
I know. I speak Hebrew, so it's easier.
Oh, that's a
Not
good
as
one.
many people know.
Yes.
But I'm always like, how funny would it be? Or if I'll
Yes.
see like Israelis speaking Hebrew, I'm like, please talk shit about me so I can catch you in
I'm
the
gonna
moment.
catch you.
Okay, so I just teased you coming on today by saying there is a flaming hot guest coming on today because your movie Flaming Hot, which you directed, it's your directorial debut.
Yes.
I know. And what a fun, inspiring, great movie.
Thank
I
you.
loved it so much.
Yay.
It's so good. It's on Hulu, you guys. Super easy.
Hulu and Disney Plus.
And Disney Plus.
Yeah.
You don't have to even go anywhere.
No.
Sit in your home.
Yeah.
Watch the movie.
Yeah.
How did you become attached to the project?
Well, I've been directing for 12 years. This is my first feature film, and I love TV. I love directing TV. I love the medium of television. And my agent sent me the script, and she's like, you know, you should take a look at this. She's like, I don't think you're gonna get it, because so many directors were up for the job, really, you know, established directors, and everybody loved the story. And so she was, but I don't know, I think you should throw your hat in the ring. And I was like, okay. So I read it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was blown away by his story, because you saw the movie,
Yeah.
so it's not really about the hot Cheeto. It's about this man's life,
Right.
you know, and it's really inspirational and moving and motivational and complex. And so I read the script, and I was like, how did I not know this story? He's Mexican American. I'm Mexican American. Like, if I don't know this story, that means a lot of people don't know the story. And then I became obsessed with, like, I'm the only one who can tell this story. And went in, and I was the little engine that could in the director meetings, because I was like, I have to get this. And
So
I
you
won
have
the
to, like,
job.
audition to be a
it's the same.
director?
Yeah, you got to go pitch your vision. And,
Really? I didn't know that.
yeah, and then you get a call back, you know. You go in, they go, great, you make it to the next level. You go in, great, you make it
Did
to
you
the
know
next
how
level.
to create that kind of a pitch, or does someone
No,
kind of guide you?
no, that was my first film pitch. No, actually, it was my second. But I knew enough. And I knew enough to surround myself with people smarter than me. So I had my agents, I had my graphic designer, I edited a reel, I really did this all-encompassing pitch about the vision that I knew this movie could be.
Yeah.
And what it meant. And I was like, I don't think you guys understand what this would mean for us as a Latino community. But also, it's such a universal theme, right? Like anybody, like, you know, you loved it, and you're
Right.
white girl from New York, right? Like,
Lame.
yeah.
Sounds lame. Okay. Yeah. Right. Because it's just inspiring.
It's and it's a universal story
right.
of like rags to riches and perseverance and the underdog, and so that's why I identified with it, because I was like, I am Richard Montañez. I've been told no. I've been told ideas don't come from people like you, or no, you're a woman, maybe you shouldn't do that job or that opportunity. So I really felt like, I think a lot of people are gonna relate to his story or his
Yeah.
journey.
That's so crazy that you saw the script, you wanted to be part of it, you auditioned, you got it, they believed in you,
Yeah.
and you did it.
And then I did it, and then here
And
we
you
are.
didn't put yourself in it. Though I just saw that you did, and I was like, I did miss it. Where were you?
I was a secretary when Richard calls the CEO. And all the bosses are pissed off. They go, "Who let this guy
Well, not
call?"
the first woman
not
that
the first
answered.
guy, but the second. No, the woman. He goes, "Get him on the phone," and I go, "I don't know who that is," and I'm trying to dial the phone number.
I cannot believe that I missed that. How do you? It's a blip.
It's like 2 seconds, maybe 1.
Did you think about maybe being Jude?
No, never.
Really?
Yeah, and Richard Montañez originally, the real Richard, was like, "Why don't you be Judy?" And I was like, because I'm 112.
No. Oh my God.
But also I felt like it was my first feature and I really wanted to be behind the camera.
Yeah.
100%. And I love directing and acting at the same time. I actually love directing what I'm in.
Yeah.
Because I'm just more efficient and it's just shorthand. I can give myself notes in my head.
Right.
But with this one, I was like, no, I need 1,000% focus behind the camera. And Annie, who plays our Judy, Annie Gonzalez, is brilliant.
She's so good.
She's brilliant, and she's the heart of the movie. And so I was like, that's our Judy. It was clear she was our Judy.
Did you relate to? There are a few scenes with the kids where they're like embarrassed about speaking Spanish.
Yes.
They get bullied
at school
for being Mexican. Did you find like? Did you relate to those scenes?
That's happened to me many times. When I was in 3rd grade, I had to go to this gifted and talented school that was like across town, not in my neighborhood. So I had to get bused there. And the first day I went on the bus, I had a bean taco because we eat bean tacos for breakfast every day. And everybody in my neighborhood eats bean tacos. But when I got on the bus, everybody had a Pop-Tart. And I was like, what is that? Oh, that's so cool. It had sprinkles on it. I mean, it looks so cool. And they were like, what's that? And I was like, it's a bean taco. Don't you guys eat these? And I remember a little girl on the bus going, she's Mexican. And I was like, what's that? Like, I had no idea that I was different. And then I was like, is that a bad thing? Why is she saying it like that? And that's when I kind of realized, oh, so everybody's not Mexican. And then I would go to Mexico. Like, we would go all the time we'd cross the border. We'd walk over, because I'm from Texas. We'd walk over the border and we'd have lunch. We'd come back. Like, it was a normal thing. And when we'd come back, we'd get in the line that, was American citizen. And they were like, you just had to say American citizen. They go, great. This was like, they didn't check a passport. They had nothing. And I thought that was a secret password. So I thought, why is it that long line over there? Why don't they know the secret password?
Yeah.
It's American citizen, guys. Just say it. And my dad's like, no, they're Mexican. And I was like, I know, but we're Mexican. And my dad's like, no, we're American. And every time I went to Mexico, they would go, oh, the American. And I was like, no, am I not Mexican? Like, I was so confused as a kid, for sure, because we were both at the same time. And so it wasn't until like college where I really embraced how to navigate the hyphen, right? Like, I'm 100% Mexican, 100% American at the same time. And I'm the most patriotic person you'll meet. I'm a proud American. I am like, red, white, and blue. But I'm so proud of my Latino roots and my Mexican roots and our culture and our heritage and our traditions and our food and our language and, all of it.
Did you find that you connected with him more as you got older?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Always. Do you find that with your heritage?
I think that getting older is just better in that you...
Yeah, I think you step back and go, oh, okay. But again, it's everybody forcing all cultures that come to assimilate. Like, you gotta be this one flavor.
Yeah.
And that's like, no.
Right.
Why? Why would
I know you're very good about saying like Mexican American.
Yeah.
Like the hyphen.
Hyphen.
She's hyphenated. I want to talk about Richard Montañez for a second. Montañez.
Yes.
Because we loved a true story, obviously. Yeah. This is based on a true story. But why is the way that it's written is like, he claims he invented the hot Cheeto. Yeah. And then Frito-Lay is like, we couldn't find it, but we support him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and then Pepsi came out with like 1,000%. He is responsible.
Oh, Pepsi came out and said that?
For the success of Flamin' Hot, yeah.
For the success of Flamin' Hot. Are they accrediting him with like...
Well, he's not the chemist.
Right, obviously.
And I feel like that's what people are like, wait, he's not the chemist. No, he didn't mix maltodextrin with God knows what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no, and we don't say that in the movie. He came up, his genius was marketing and going, you're ignoring the Hispanic market, and we put chile on chips, and why don't we try this thing? So they already had this spice in development.
Yeah.
But what they did was give him the opportunity to market it.
Yeah.
And so that's where his genius really was, I know my community, I know they'll love something like this. And they were like, great. But there's beautiful, do you see Patty, the secretary in the movie, that passes the call through?
Right.
It's a big moment in his life, because a secretary could have been like, no, I'm not passing. You're the what? I'm sorry, you're the janitor?
Yeah,
no,
I was kind of surprised you passed the phone on too.
Yeah, true story.
That's a true story.
1,000%. Every time he does a TED Talk or a motivational speech, he credits Patty, the secretary, for passing the call to the CEO. Because she knew Roger Enrico was like that. He loved talking to the front line and factory workers. And so she's like, oh, he'll love to hear from you. So Patty passed the call through. So we had a Dallas screening, and the real Patty was there. And she came up on stage and she said, I remember the day he called and pitched this idea to Mr. Enrico. She was Roger Enrico's secretary till he died.
Wow.
And so her testimony is beautiful, because she's like, I remember he was like forceful but humble, and he was uneducated but he was smart. And he was passionate about what he was saying about his community. And she's like, I gotta pass this call. She remembers the phone call. She remembers she remembers all of it. And she remembers the journey that Enrico and Montañez, Richard, went on in their lives. Like she goes, he saw himself in Richard, because Roger Enrico, the CEO of PepsiCo, was an Italian immigrant.
Right.
So he identified with Richard's chutzpah, and his moxie, I think. Oh, God, why am I saying all these Hebrew words?
Hello. You know what I was shocked at in the movie? Just because we've become such a greedy nation, and everything's about money. Yeah. The whole time I was like, is he getting a cut? Like, how's he knowing what he's making from this? Yeah. And it's wild that it didn't seem to be about that in the movie. It wasn't about getting his cut or getting copyright on this.
Credit.
Right, or credit. Yeah. It was like he was doing this kind of for the factory to keep...
He wanted more shifts.
Yeah.
Like, he literally was like one foot in front of the other. He wanted, to move up. And what really happened, which is in the movie, is Roger Enrico sent out a video he always sent videos to the company. And in one video, he said, I want everybody to think like a CEO. This is your company too.
Yeah.
And that's when he was like, oh, okay, so that means I can? And people are like, no, not you, others, you know? And he was like, well, why not me? I could think like a CEO. But yeah, that's why people go, oh, did this really happen?
Right.
Watch the movie, because then you'll go, oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah, you've spoken to him probably, right?
Yeah, Richard, yeah.
Did he kind of guide you on the film
too? Oh yeah,
he did.
I mean, all of this is why the film is in his perspective. It's in his voice.
Yeah.
He really believes this is what unfolded and happened. Like, he really didn't know what a boardroom looked like. And those boardroom scenes where they're all talking like cholos, he really was like, he thought a boardroom was full of boards. Like, he didn't understand, like, what are they doing there? Yeah. And so when we have all these fantasy sequences, it's because I really wanted to show, like, his thought process. Like, he couldn't read or write when he took the job. Like, he couldn't fill out the application. So why would he know how protocols are in a big company like that? He didn't know there was, a research and development team that develops stuff and takes millions of dollars. He just thought, like, look, I made this in my kitchen. Should we try it? I don't know.
And I mean, it was, no matter what is set out there, he did go from being a plant worker
100%
to being
an top-level executive.
42
years.
That is a wild story.
And that's why Pepsi is 1,000% behind him.
Yeah.
Like, his body of work at the company has always been celebrated.
Yeah.
We've always lifted him up. We've always been proud.
Do you like hot Cheetos?
Love hot Cheetos.
I've never tried it.
What?
I know.
We don't even have it here.
I know.
It's too early now.
Isn't it? Have you guys tried it? Like, everyone, it's universal. I don't know why I haven't tried it.
Do you like spicy?
I do. Okay. Yeah. Oh, do you? Are you really good with spicy?
Yeah, so they're not spicy to me. They're in Mexico, we have extra. They're XX Flamin Hots, which is in a black bag. Those
and you can handle that.
Yeah,
Look at your nails.
Those are my jam.
Is that on purpose for the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
But no, I grew up eating Flamin. I don't remember a time where I didn't have Flamin Hots as a matter of fact, the first time I ate a bag of normal Cheetos, I thought something was wrong with my bag. I was like, oh, I got a bum bag. What the hell is this? And they were like, no, those are regular Cheetos. I was like, there's a regular Cheeto? That's
Wait, did
dumb.
you? Because in the movie, the little kid is like kind of the guinea pig.
Yeah.
Were you a little kid eating spicy
Yes.
food? Really?
Yes.
Wow. Because I feel like in America, at least, till this day, and my son is like almost 3.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
don't give him spicy. And I'm like, am I not allowed to?
Yeah.
Like,
Is it a bad
is it a bad thing? Or is it just like not good? You know what I mean? Like we're
Right.
taught kind of like that spicy can be like.
Well, not for in Mexican culture. Like, here's a jalapeno. Like, eat it, put it in the bottle. My mom would put jalapeno sauce on my nails so I wouldn't bite it. My nail, yes. Like, she was like, go ahead, bite your nails, and she put jalapenos on my nails. So I was like,
my
yeah,
God.
I can't remember not having spicy stuff. And you know what? My pediatrician, because my son's 5, she's Indian, and same thing with like spices, and she's like, your children should eat what you eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
how is he with spicy food?
he's not there yet.
Yeah.
And my Mexican husband's very disappointed in his
trying to give him
spice
beans
level.
and stuff? I mean, your stomach must be made of steel. I feel like after the age of 30, I can't handle beans, spicy,
Really?
alcohol, all this stuff. My stomach's like, no.
Oh, I
How's
do
it-
all those things.
Your stomach
Alcohol,
is good?
beans,
Cheese?
spicy, not cheese. That's yeah.
Cheese has become an issue.
Lactose has become an issue.
Really?
And you know what's so funny? I just shot a show in Spain, Mexico, Spain. The rest of the world has deslactosada milk, like
Lactose free?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And if
We
you go
don't.
to Starbucks, if you go to any coffee shop, that's an option, but not here.
Not here. Here you have to get the plant-based
You
milk.
got to get almond or soy. And
Yeah.
I was like, no, I want lactose-free milk, and they're like, no.
Huh.
But everywhere else in the world, you can say deslactosada, and they go, oh yes,
Deslactosada.
yes.
Okay, I want to talk about you and how you started acting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it?
Oh my God, let's talk
I know.
about it.
Were you the little girl that like
Put
wanted
on a
to
show?
be on stage, put
No.
on a show, is in home
No,
videos?
I will say though, so I grew up in a family of educators, and also
like they're both teachers.
teachers. My mom's a teacher. My aunt's a professor. My aunt, everybody like is education. Also, my 3 sisters look like you. Like,
really?
yes. They're
Like, you mean like they're
blonde, light-skinned. They were all my 3 sisters were blonde, like blonde. We have pictures where there's the 3 sisters and me.
Yeah.
And I was the only one that came out with black hair, dark skin, dark eyes. My sisters have these beautiful hazel eyes. My mom's güera, which is the white one. They call her Tia Güera because she's so light-skinned.
Yeah.
And so I grew up as La Prieta Fea, which means the ugly dark one.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who called you that?
My mom.
No.
My family.
As like a joke?
No, as like it's in term of endearment, but like
but
people
it's-
would walk up to my mom and go, "Your daughters are so beautiful," and who's this? And I would be
Oh, my
like,
God.
"I'm one of them." Blah blah blah. So much so that when I did a DNA test, I was like, I hope my parents are my parents. I hope my
Why'd you do a DNA test?
because I did that show where they trace your DNA or whatever, and to find your roots and all that. And it was so
Oh.
fun. And the guy kept going, "You are going to be so surprised. I can't wait till we reveal your DNA to you." And I was like, "I'm so sorry. Am I my parents' child? Like, don't tell me that
Yeah.
on camera."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Just check." Oh God. I was like, I never thought to do a DNA test.
Yeah.
But so I wasn't the pretty one. Like, I grew up as not the pretty one. So there was a conscious decision when I was young to be the funny one. And I really think that has lent itself to my personality. Like, not just like, oh, I'm going to be an actress, but like, I just don't value beauty in my own self very much. And you know, I'm with L'Oreal, I'm a spokesperson, which my sisters are still like, why'd they pick you? Still, like, nothing like family to ground you.
Yeah.
But I don't, that's not a high value characteristic in our family. Except, you know, so I do think, I didn't grow up with celebrity, you know, again, I'm much older than you. And so we didn't have tabloids. Obviously we didn't have social media or anything like that, but like there was like the National Enquirer was the big tabloid. So it was like aliens have landed and Robert De Niro had a baby. So you're like, I don't know what to believe. I don't know.
Which is still happening, by the way. Robert De Niro is still having babies.
Still having babies.
Yeah.
Still having babies.
Still having babies.
And
I don't know about aliens.
I
but
don't
the
know.
other part
Well,
is-
no, aliens did land. They
Oh, okay.
just, yes.
They
yeah.
did?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
just yesterday, aliens landed.
Just yesterday.
And
the
Robert De Niro,
UFO.
no, he's getting a paternity test, I think.
No.
or Al Pacino. Both of them are in this situation currently. So you didn't have tabloids.
I didn't grow up with celebrity culture. Yeah. So people were like, who were your role models? I'm like, my mom, my aunt, my sister. Like, what do you mean? I never. And today, if you ask kids or younger people, who's your role model? They're like, so and so. It's
Taylor
like always
Swift,
it's always a celebrity. And I was like, no. And I grew up with TV. So my mom was a big soap watcher, so we'd watch soap operas, So that's what when I landed in LA and landed on a soap, my mom was like,
But you landed in LA.
You
so
arrived.
I want to know how you got to go to LA.
Well, I was in a beauty pageant.
Right.
Yeah. And so when I was in Texas,
La Fea went to a beauty pageant.
By the way, my mom was like, I really don't think you should do this. My whole family was like, so why are you entering a beauty pageant? No, because it was a scholarship pageant. And I didn't go in going, I'm so beautiful. This was in college. It was my last year of college. And I ran out of money. My Pell Grant ran out. My financial aid ran out. My parents weren't really, paying for the college. And my girlfriend goes, you should enter the scholarship pageant. And I was like, what is that? Like a beauty pageant? And she's like, well, yeah, it's the same, but the prizes was money for school. And I was looking at the prizes and I was like, fourth place was like books. And I was like, okay, if I could just get fourth place, then I'll get my books covered. And then like third place was like books tuition. And then, second place was books tuition boarding. And then first place was books tuition boarding and a stipend or whatever. And so I was like, okay, if I could just I was trying to cobble together, the money to finish my senior year of college. And so I entered it and I won. And I got to finish college because of it. But because I won that, they're like, and you advance to the next pageant. I was like, oh God, no. I'm not a pageant girl. I just wanted this prize. And I had to move on to the next pageant. But I remember calling my mom and I was like, Mom, I need a dress or a gown. I think it's called a gown. Didn't even know. I didn't know. And she's like, for what? And I was like, I'm in this beauty pageant. She goes, oh, honey, I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, do you think that's a good idea? Because she was like, you're not going to win. You're going to be disappointed. I'm like, I'm not going to be disappointed. I just need to get fourth place.
And you won first place.
And I won the crown.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then you advance until.
And then so I advanced to the Miss Corpus Christi pageant, which is where I'm from. I'm from Corpus. And I was like, okay, let me just do this. And then I won that one. And in that prize package, when I was Miss Corpus Christi USA 1998, yes, it's pageant wave. That in that prize package was a trip to LA, and it was like for acting and modeling. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I just want to go to LA. Like I had never been out of Texas except to Mexico, and so I was like, yeah, I'll go. So I graduated college, and I come to LA, and it was like this modeling and talent convention that we had to go to. And I was like, okay. And all these managers and agents wanted to sign me because it was like 1998, 99, where it was like Livin' La Vida Loca and J-Lo and Made in Manhattan. Like, all, like it was the Latin explosion.
Right.
And they're like, you're Latina. You're going to kill it here. You should stay in LA. You're going to do so well. And I was like, what? Do what well? Like, what is it? And they're like, acting, modeling, whatever. But like being Latin's the new thing. And I was like, okay. And this is 19. I was like, okay, I'll stay. And I never went home.
Oh my God.
I took that trip and I just told my mom.
And you got signed from that convention?
Yeah, I got a manager and 5 roommates in a 1-bedroom apartment, like that were all at that little convention together, one from Minnesota and a girl from Idaho. It was like, and they were all like drama nerds, and we've been studying for this our whole life. I was like, oh my God, I've never done this. This is amazing. What's going on? So rent was like $100 split between 5 people. Like we were all in this 1-bedroom part in Hollywood because I was like, I want to live in Hollywood. Because when I write home, this was when you still wrote letters.
It'll say Hollywood.
It'll say Hollywood, California on the envelope. And so that's why I chose to live in Hollywood.
You stayed.
Well, and then I had my degree. And so I was like, I can get a job. I have a degree.
Right.
I'm not going to wait tables.
Wait, what was your degree in?
Kinesiology.
But then you went back to school, right?
Yeah, and then I got my master's later.
In Chicano Studies.
During Desperate Housewives. During Desperate Housewives. I'm telling you. I come from a family of educators. They were like, and you don't have your master's.
Like, does it even count?
Yeah, does it even count? Do you even exist?
Wait, so you stayed and then you started getting like little parts?
Well, then I did extra work because I'd never been on a set.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me I should probably be on a set. So I signed up to be an extra, and I did an extra jobs for like a year, and I was just on set going, what's that? Why is the camera there? What's that light do? And they're like, this extra needs to go back to holding. Can somebody take her back to holding? And I was just like,
you wanted to learn.
I wanted to learn. What's a mark? Why is this mic here? Hello, testing, 1, 2. And they're like, oh my God, get off the set, little girl. And then I got 1 line, and then I got 2 lines, and then, and I just moved my way up. And
did you get passionate about it as you were doing it? Like, damn, I kind of like
You know what I got passionate about was producing and directing. Like, I really was like, who's that person behind the over there? Why do they, seems like they're making all the decisions.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, those are the producers. And I was like, what's a producer? Like, well, the bosses, like they're the ones that put together. And I immediately was like, oh, I want to be that. I knew that.
Really?
Right away. And then also, like, I took so many jobs. I had 100 jobs while I was pursuing acting. And one of them, I worked at a live event company as a PA and running around, getting people coffee, whatever, but then learning, right? And I was like, they're like, hey, send this budget upstairs. And then I would just keep it. I would make a copy of it, and I would study the budget because I wanted to know, what does this mean? And, or, booking talent, right? And it was a live event company, so we need to book this band. And I was like, oh, okay. And you got to call the agent. What's an agent? Like, so the agent negotiates the fee? And they go, no, we offer the fee. And then and I was like, oh, okay. Like, I just was so curious. And I asked a lot of questions, and I learned. And then I moved up to like an AD, and then I was, producing live events. So when you got
The Young and the Restless, your mom
was like, dying. I won an Oscar. Like, you would have thought she could have died and gone to heaven because I was on Young and the Restless.
Is it like different acting though with the soap? It's like more.
It's hard.
Oh, it's harder?
Yeah.
In what way?
So hard. Well, you do like 40 pages a day.
Right. But in terms of like the acting, which is, I feel like, more dramatic.
They're all dramas.
Right. It's not like understated acting.
Yeah, it's not like bump. There's no like, hey, let's make this funny. It's a dramatic, form. And, there's actors who've been doing it forever.
Right.
That again, my mom was like, "Oh my God, you're gonna be on with so and so." Doug Davidson, my husband on the show, I loved. He was on the show. I think he's still on the show, but he was an amazing actor.
How did you stop? Did they kill?
They fired me.
They fired you? At what point?
After my contract. 3 years, because the storyline ran out, and they were like,
usually you would come back as like your ghost or something.
I know.
You didn't.
No, I didn't. But I loved my time on there and learned a lot. I mean, just the amount of dialogue you have to learn, it builds your memory muscle. And so when I moved to primetime TV, which we're doing 8 pages a day, I'm like, well, okay,
a breeze.
Sure.
So when you got Desperate Housewives, which was...
I was like, oh, I could do this.
At that point, how long were you in the industry when you got that?
Well, I moved here in 98, and that was 2003 when I got the pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 2004, it premiered to the world.
And that was really like the big...
That was the big one.
Did you know it was going to be big? Like when you
No, I thought it wasn't going to get picked up. When we did the pilot, I was like, this is so different, because it wasn't a drama and it wasn't a comedy. It had women over 40 in it. Like, God forbid you had a show with women over 40. I was the only one that wasn't 40.
Right.
But Gabby was kind of... I was playing older because she was still their friend. But I remember it was like, I go, well, I don't think this is going to last. But I was like counting my money that I got from the pilot to see how long it would last. Like, I was like, okay, I did this pilot. I think I could survive for like another 6 months, maybe a year. And you know what? Like, I was just budgeting my little apartment based on just the pilot, because I thought, oh, this won't get picked up. It's too different.
Yeah.
And then did it
get picked
up.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was overnight the success of the show. Not me, because I was, like I said, I had already done stuff, and I was already on a primetime show before Desperate. So it wasn't like I was an overnight success, but like the global reach that Desperate Housewives had was overnight.
And still, I mean,
it still plays in France. It still plays.
It's like one of those shows that just sticks in pop culture, in people's, in the back of our minds.
Yeah.
Would you ever go back to do a reboot?
I would love to.
Yeah?
I would be the first to sign up.
Wait, I saw that Jesse Metcalf was just at the premiere.
Yeah.
Which is so funny, because I feel like you're married, with a child, but still there was like, Eva Longoria
and Jesse Metcalf.
Like
sexy couple. We were best
rekindling.
friends on that show because, you know, Jesse was playing younger.
Right.
He was playing a 17-year-old, but he was 25. And I was 28 playing a 40. You know, so we were the same age. And we were like in the same Hollywood cool group of like, let's go. So we were best friends. And again, this thing happened to us. You know, this explosion happened to us. And Jesse and I both came from soaps. He was on a soap also. So we kind of had the same background. And we just held each other's hands through this moment. And it was really great. Him and my husband, Ricardo Chavira, I loved. Like I had great guys on the show.
You had a lot of guys on the show.
I know. Well, that's another reason I was like, I don't know if we could reboot it. There's nobody else I could sleep with. I have slept with everybody on that show.
So did he come to support you at the premiere?
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Are you still in touch with any of the other women?
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Felicity and Marcia and I are very close. You know, they were my rock on the show. They took me under their wing. You know, they had successes. You know, Marcia had Melrose Place. And
before.
Felicity had, you know, she's an actor. So she had amazing success. And so for me, I was like, I'm just happy to be here. And those two, like I was so lucky to like be in their presence and be in their warmth. Like they're amazing human beings.
Like it was a fun show to film. You had good chemistry.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the chemistry. We tapped into something that was you couldn't describe. Like we were just all on the same frequency, and I loved it. It was a decade of our life.
Yeah,
it's a long time.
Where did you film?
Universal Studios in LA.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
you weren't like stuck in Atlanta or something.
No,
yeah.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's fun.
I know.
That's
and
fun.
Rare.
I know. Your son Santiago, cutest thing ever.
Thank you.
Turning five in a minute.
Any minute now.
June 18.
June 19.
Okay, so not a Gemini.
It is a Gemini.
It is a Gemini still?
Yes.
Oh,
I know.
Say
I
you're
was
in the
so
clear.
sad.
You're not in the clear.
No, I'm
a Gemini,
sad.
so relax.
Okay.
But for guys, I get it. But for guys, I get it. I know. For guys, from astrology people, yeah.
It's a thing.
I mean, my son's a Leo, so it's like we're in it.
Okay.
We're in the thick of it.
Well, I'm also glad he's not a Taurus. I don't know why.
Really?
I was just like, oh God, I don't know. I feel like that would have been problematic too.
They all have, but Geminis. I mean, listen, we love him. We love him. So he's the cutest thing ever. He's turning 5. And I read that you said that before you met your current husband who has children, you weren't that you were like not thinking about it.
Yeah.
And his kids kind of sparked that in you.
No, Pepe sparked it in me. Like he is, I always think children are a product of love. Right?
Yeah.
They're just a beautiful blessing. I really think that. And so when people are like, do you want to have kids? You want to have kids? I was like, I mean, if it happens, I don't feel like I was never the person who's going to do it by myself. Like I'm going to go do it myself. I was like, no, I think I'm okay. And I was 40, you know, when I met Pepe. So
when were you pregnant?
43.
And how was that? Were you good? Did you feel good?
Really? It was great. Yeah.
Damn, those genes.
It was good.
Look at you.
Yes.
I can't deal with it. It's honestly annoying.
It was great. But yeah, so then Pepe was like, and I loved his children. I mean, I love his children. But yeah, I was just like, I think we should do this. And we're like, yeah, let's do this. And now I can't. I mean, I don't even remember life before.
I know. What did we do on weekends?
I don't know.
Like,
and I was like,
chill?
how much time did I read books? I think I used to read books.
That's what I think about sometimes. I'm like, what
were you
did I
so
do with all
busy?
the free time?
What were you so busy about? Like
Wild.
I remember being busy.
Yeah.
But I also think like people go, wow, how do you handle it all? Your career and motherhood. I was like, well, I built my career when I did not have a child.
Yes.
And that's easy. You know what I mean? Because it's all about you.
It's all about you.
All about you.
And how is it navigating your career now?
Now, because, you know, I get to choose what I want to do, it's so much easier to make decisions about my career. Because if it's going to pull time away from Santi and my family, then I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm
you're
like,
gonna
wait,
do things that you're really
I got to go to Bulgaria? No. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or Atlanta? No, I'm not, you know, so I'm really lucky that I have that filter now where it's like easier to say no to things because
Does he get
of
what
Santi.
you're doing?
No, but he did see Dora the Explorer, and he was like, "Wait, you're Dora's mom?" And I was like, "Yeah, but just sometimes," you know. And he was like, "What do you mean sometimes?" So that was the first time he saw me on screen.
Yeah.
But he's been on every set I've directed, and since he was in my belly to breastfeeding to he says action on Flamin Hot. he gets that actually.
Are you teaching him both Spanish and English? Are
Yeah.
you doing the bilingual thing?
Yeah.
Are you like making it a point to like
no.
at home we speak English? At
No,
school,
we just speak Spanish.
You just speak Spanish because he'll pick up the
Everybody
English.
speaks English. To
Yeah.
him. Yeah, and he's perfectly bilingual. He's way better Spanish speaker than me. He corrects me all the time, and he gets frustrated. Like he's like, "Mom, oh my God, that's not." Like I said, he was playing with a knife the other day, and I said, I was telling him, "No, it's dangerous." I said,
Peligroso.
But I was trying to say, no, the knife is sharp. So
Oh,
I
okay.
said, no, el cuchillo es muy sharp. That's what I said. And he goes, filoso, mama, filoso. But like that,
God.
like with the head
Attitude.
And I was like, oh, is that the word for sharp? I
Oh
never
my
knew the
God.
word for sharp. He corrects me all the time. Like, what's I don't know, some bugs. Like he knows all the bugs in Spanish. He knows everything.
Well, he goes to school there.
Well, yeah, like he has everything. He's immersed in Spanish.
Yeah.
My whole family, takes the whole village around him speaks Spanish. And
Wow.
when we live in Mexico City, it's like pure Spanish. And when we're in LA, it's Spanish in the household, and then everybody
English
else.
everywhere else.
Yeah.
I have to ask you about your friendship with Victoria Beckham.
Okay.
Because when I first saw it, I was like, okay, friendship goals. Like, I feel like you guys just kind of booped it on Instagram, some like posts together. And I was like, we don't know about this.
Yeah.
How did you meet?
We met because my ex-husband knew David because of the sports world. And so that's how I met David and Victoria. And then they moved when David played for the LA Galaxy to Los Angeles back in the 2000s.
Yeah.
And that was it. We were like peas in a pod. We just were like, Phoom. And she's, we're the same kind of funny. We both, she's just so funny.
I feel like people know about you, but people don't know that about her.
Oh, gosh. She is so funny. And by one of the funniest people I know. I mean, she's so funny. And she's the most loyal, caring, kind human beings. Like she is there.
Wow.
Yeah, she's just a good human being. I know people are amazed at like two celebs, but like no, she's a really she's like a good
Two celebs are friends.
Like it's like I don't look at it like that. Like if she would be my friend if we both were just like neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just a great mom and a great businesswoman and a great like everything. You're like, yes, I want to be more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You surround yourself with people that you like respect. And
Yeah. Or you're like,
so
you're
I wanted
doing it.
to shout out your tequila.
Oh my God,
Casa
tequila.
del
Oh, I
Sol.
thought
You're
you were looking at it.
You're like,
Where
are
is
the
it?
shots?
Where is it?
Because
It's 11 in the morning, people.
the Repo Baby shirt was genius.
Yes, from the
So good.
Nepo Baby.
Nepo Baby.
Yes.
I mean, Santi, who knows?
I know. Who knows? That's why I'm trying not to be too hard on the Nepo babies because I'm like, my son might be a Nepo, but no, my son will earn his way for sure.
A few quick questions before you go.
Yes.
Coffee order.
From Starbucks or in general, yeah, I have a 4-shot latte, but small, like a small cup
With
four
four
shots.
shots.
Basically, I want espresso with a little bit of milk.
And
That's
we
what
know
I want.
you drink plant-based milk.
No, deslactosada.
Well, when you're here.
I just do low fat.
Oh, okay. You do. Oh,
I know because I can't.
you don't like the other ones.
I don't like the other
They
ones.
don't cream it enough.
They don't cream it up, and they have a taste.
They
where
do.
I don't think
Favorite snack.
Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Ah, there she goes. Any shows you're watching right now?
Well, I just finished The Last of Us, which that was so good because I'm
so
in love with
good.
Pedro Pascal.
I mean, yeah.
That's my celebrity crush.
He is?
Yes.
He's so. I mean,
well, my
he's
my
zaddy.
all-time celebrity crush will always be Ricky Martin.
Did you meet him?
Yeah, he's one of my best friends.
Oh, stop.
But I met him when I was 14. I literally stood in line for Menudo autograph in my hometown.
Why isn't he making music? Tell
He
him.
is on tour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scratch that in post.
He
He's
is
on tour. In America?
everywhere.
Everywhere.
He's on tour
Okay,
right now. Like
Ricky.
he was just in Argentina or Peru or something.
Oh, that's so cool. So you're
Yeah.
good friends with him
We're
too.
very good friends. We're very good. That's my other really dear friend.
Aw.
But I still love him as I would love to marry him.
Exciting things coming up. I know you have another documentary that you directed.
Yes, thank you. La Guerra Civil.
Yeah.
It's the documentary about the 25th anniversary of Julio Cesar Chavez fighting Oscar de la Hoya and how it really divided the Mexican household because Oscar was Mexican American and the new guy, and Julio Cesar Chavez was the champion and the Mexican still national treasure.
Yeah.
And so it's a really interesting doc that explores who gets to say you're Mexican enough. And it was through this fight.
Wow.
And it's really powerful. It's on the DAZN, DAZN.
Well, you're really connecting to your roots.
This is the stories I know. I know. I'm not meaning to I'm only going to do Latino stuff. I just think we have a lot of stories to tell. And
Oscar de la Hoya.
Yeah.
You guys connecting to pop culture for a minute.
Okay.
Was married to Shanna Moakler.
Yes. I don't think they got married, but they have a baby.
They have a
child.
A baby, Tiana de la Hoya, who Travis Barker is her stepdad. Married to Kourtney Kardashian, you guys.
And now Kourtney,
there you go.
Yes.
And she's
part of the family.
She's really part of the family. I mean, he's like her second dad, so that's really cool. I saw you're on TikTok now. How's TikTok going?
I'm on the TikTok. I am.
I'm not on the TikTok.
You're
so
not
you
on the
are
TikTok?
younger and hipper than me. I can't handle it.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And it's very, I get it. But it's so fast. It's too frenetic for me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's a lot.
I want to look at a
you things you don't want to see. You're like, I didn't.
Why? I got to figure out my algorithm because I feel like I'm getting weird shit lately.
Mine was showing me girls putting on concealer, and I was like, they don't get that. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
But you are on TikTok. Other exciting stuff coming up?
What else do I have, Jamie? Oh, yes, but we don't have an air date for that. But I have a show on Apple that I shot. It's the first time I'll be back on TV in a while.
Oh my God, that's exciting!
I know, very exciting.
Apple is bougie and fun.
Apple's so bougie. I was so excited. And I just shot a movie for Disney Plus, which was Alexander and the Horrible, Terrible, No Good, Really Bad Day. That's a sequel to that, and that was really fun. We just wrapped. Jesse Garcia is the star of Flamin Hot.
Oh.
But now then we went to go do this movie.
Oh, that's cool.
I know. It's so great.
He's so great.
He's amazing. How good is the star of Flamin Hot?
So good. He's amazing. Everybody go watch it.
Yes.
It's such a fun, like I said, inspiring movie. That's like a whole family movie.
Yes.
I also told my husband, I was like, he doesn't watch TV with me a lot unless it's like murder or something.
Yeah.
So, and I told him, I was like, this is the story, and I feel like it's just so enticing to everybody. I was like, you know, Flaming Hot Cheetos. So it's about the guy. He was in that, and I just feel like it's one of those things. It's so easy to get people on board to watch it. It's like feel
we're
good.
The #1 streamed movie in the history of
Searchlight.
Searchlight.
And I was like, I always look at Rotten Tomatoes. I have a problem.
Oh my God.
Do you look at Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't.
Really?
They send me the score.
So it's doing really well.
Yeah, we have
critic
88,
score,
88
but also audience score, which
88.
is more important.
Way more important.
Really?
Yes, we are. I always go, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. We made a beautiful film. Yeah. You know?
So 88%, my followers know how I am about Rotten Tomatoes. So
yeah.
I'm like, ooh.
I'm really surprised too, because there was a study about Rotten Tomatoes about they didn't have enough women and diverse critics, and so sometimes that can skew a movie. You know, if you have a rom-com and they go, boo, I didn't get it. Well, it wasn't made for you.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
No, but honestly, as much as I like Rotten Tomatoes, I'm usually at like a 40. Like if the critics give it a 40,
You're in.
I'm in. I'm like, this is good for me. If it's 100, I'm like, I'm scared. Okay. Eva Longoria, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
What a fun pleasure for me.
Oh,
so thank you for making this movie.
Thank you.
And for coming on my show.
Thanks for having me.
Yay.
Yay. Awesome. Oh my God, that went by too fast.
I know, and I was like, I know.